this is Elizabeth, the moderator for the event. If you do, we have a few minutes left. I'd like to go ahead and address a few other questions. Samantha, are SPAC transactions inherently problematic from an enforcement perspective? How would you address that question for our attendee?
Thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to address this. I consider this a similar question that I got from Adrienna about, a pre-revenue company. So I would just reiterate, I don't speak for the SEC, but I can say with certainty that the SEC is not pro or anti-SPAC, and I'm the same way as an enforcement attorney. When I am working up a case, looking into companies, I'm not more critical of some because of the way that they became public. Again, I'm just looking at their disclosures and asking, are they adequate? Were they material misleading? Do investors have the information that they need to make an informed and voting decision? So I hope that answers your question. I just wanted to dispel the view that the transaction's not right or wrong. It's all about the disclosures.
Thank you so much. Adrienna, I have a question for you also. But first, attendees, I want to give you that next word you need again for those continuing education credits, equity, EQUITY, equity again. You'll see that blue button there on the homepage. That's where you enter these words I've been giving you. Again, this is going to serve as proof of attendance required by your state boards and bars. Adrienna, if we could, I know you covered this just a little bit for us in your presentation, but what do you expect from the SPAC market in 2022, this coming year?
Yeah, so I expect that we will have, so from a capital markets perspective, and then I can talk about from a litigation perspective. So from a capital markets perspective, I do expect the SPAC market to cool, both from an IPO, mostly from an initial public offering perspective, but we'll see. And then I also expect that SPACs are going to continue to contribute to the new initial public offerings for new companies via reverse merger. So those initial business combinations, I expect that we're going to still see sustained increases in publicly listed companies in 2022 as well. And given that the SPACs continue to be part of our capital markets, since 2021 was a blowout year all around, I would expect continued regulatory scrutiny and guidance as needed. From the litigation perspective, it'll be really interesting to see how courts decide these cases during 2022. I'll make sort of an analogy to the COVID-19 litigation that sort of peaked in 2020, and we ended up seeing a lot of those cases being dismissed or not creating as much of a securities litigation risk as had expected. On the other hand, for SPACs, given, as Samantha highlighted, a lot of how enforcement views risks, I think is also how shareholders view risks. And therefore, I expect we'll continue to see more securities class actions and securities-related litigation, particularly for the SPAC mergers that do not perform well.